Welcome, beautiful souls. In this video, we're going to dive deep into a topic that often whispers in the quiet corners of our minds, a challenge many women face but rarely discuss openly: the jealousy spirit among us. It's that subtle pang when a friend shares exciting news, that quiet comparison when you see someone else's success, or the uneasy feeling when another woman shines brightly. We've all felt it, in varying degrees, but what is it, and how does it truly impact us? This isn't about shaming or blaming. It's about acknowledging a pervasive, often unspoken issue that can hinder our growth, dim our light, and prevent us from forming truly empowering connections with other women. My purpose today is to create a safe space for us to explore this complex emotion, understand its roots, and most importantly, equip ourselves with strategies to overcome it. This is for any woman who has ever felt that internal tug-of-war between genuine happiness for another and a quiet sense of inadequacy. To truly understand the jealousy spirit, we must first look within, at our own past experiences. Let's begin with a story, one that many of us might find familiar, and see where these seeds of envy might have been planted. I remember being in elementary school, my best friend Sarah always seemed to win the art competitions. I loved her, truly, but when her name was called, a tiny, uncomfortable knot would form in my stomach. It wasn't anger, it was something else, a feeling I couldn't quite name then. That feeling was a mixture of admiration and a strange, unfamiliar ache. It was the first time I felt that my own worth was somehow tied to someone else's achievement. It was confusing, isolating, and honestly, a little shameful. These early experiences, often dismissed as childish emotions, can actually lay the groundwork for how we perceive success, competition, and our own place in the world as adults. So what are the underlying psychological roots of jealousy? At its core, jealousy often stems from insecurity. When we feel inadequate, we tend to compare ourselves to others, especially those we perceive as having what we lack. This comparison feeds a scarcity mindset, making us believe there isn't enough success, happiness, or love to go around. Beyond personal psychology, societal influences play a massive role. Media constantly bombards us with images of quote, perfect lives, creating unrealistic expectations. Cultural pressures can foster a sense of competition, rather than collaboration, among women. We're subtly taught that another woman's shine somehow diminishes our own. These foundational elements often manifest more intensely in adulthood, where the stakes feel higher and our relationships are more complex. Let me share another story, one from a later chapter of my life, where the quote, green-eyed monster truly showed its face. Years later, in my career, I had a close colleague, Lisa. She was brilliant, always receiving accolades for her innovative ideas. While I admired her, there were moments, especially when my own projects hit a snag, where a bitter taste would fill my mouth. I'd find myself nitpicking her work, or secretly hoping her next big idea wouldn't be as groundbreaking. This jealousy manifested as passive-aggressive comments, a reluctance to truly celebrate her wins, and a constant internal battle. It strained our friendship and, more importantly, it stole my peace. Instead of focusing on my own growth, I was preoccupied with her success, which ultimately held me back. Recognizing these patterns is the first courageous step. Now let's move into the practical, actionable strategies that can help us dismantle the jealousy spirit and replace it with genuine connection and self-empowerment. The most powerful antidote to jealousy is building unwavering self-worth and confidence. This isn't about arrogance, but about recognizing your unique value, talents, and journey. Focus on your strengths, celebrate your small wins, and understand that your worth is inherent, not comparative. Practicing gratitude daily shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. When you genuinely appreciate your blessings, the need to compare diminishes. Simultaneously, commit to personal growth. When you're busy evolving and becoming the best version of yourself, another's success becomes less of a threat and more of an inspiration. Finally, foster authentic connections with other women. This means choosing vulnerability, having honest conversations, actively listening, and genuinely celebrating their victories. When you support each other, you create a network of empowerment, turning potential rivals into powerful allies. We've explored the subtle presence of jealousy, acknowledged its commonality, understood its roots, and learned practical strategies to overcome it. Now it's time to move forward, not just for ourselves, but for the collective strength of women everywhere. Remember, building self-worth, practicing gratitude, and fostering authentic connections are your key tools. These aren't one-time fixes, but daily practices that will transform your inner landscape and your outer relationships. You are unique, powerful and utterly deserving of all the good things life has to offer. There is abundant success, joy, and love for everyone. Let's uplift each other, celebrate our individual and collective brilliance, and shine brighter together. Your journey towards compassion and empowerment starts now.